but she was committed to deliver a lecture. So she consented that I will be there, but after 5 minutes she will join at 9. 9:05 at 9:05. So she will join. So please wait for her. Meanwhile, if you have any question, you can ask to me.
मैम जो करेक्शन के लिए था, जो हम लोग के उस पे करेक्शन के लिए था, उसमें क्या हो रहा है? मेरे पता
करेक्शन
उसमें
होगा
जी मैम, कॉलेज
करेक्शन
का
होगा
नाम
उसका।
जी कॉलेज का नाम गलत था उसमें।
वो सही हो जाएगा, कोई परेशानी
ठीक
नहीं, सही हो जाएगा।
ठीक है ओके मैम।
हेलो मैम।
जी हेलो दिवाकर जी। दिवाकर जी बताइए।
मैम मैं व्हेन आई गेट द रिलीविंग सर्टिफिकेट मैम,
जी
व्हेन आई गेट द रिलीविंग सर्टिफिकेट, रिलीव
digital certificate after assessment of your videos, after assessment of your presentation, we will provide you this certificate and your MCQs and 2 set of MCQs, all will be assessed. After that you will be able to get the
रिलीविंग सर्टिफिकेट के बारे में पूछ
certificate.
रहे हैं
जी
एंड रिलीविंग सर्टिफिकेट के बारे में पूछ रहे हैं।
रिलीविंग सर्टिफिकेट मिल जाएगा।
ओके ओके, थैंक यू।
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम।
गुड मॉर्निंग।
आज का वैलिडिटी क्या आप आज का वैलिडिटरी सीजन का जो गूगल मीट का लिंक है वो क्या आप व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में दे देंगे?
हाँ देंगे, अभी देंगे। पहले ये 3 हो जाए सेशन, 3 सेशन है ना, 3 सेशन के बाद दे देंगे आपको।
ओके,
कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, दे देंगे।
नस्रीन मैम।
यस आइरिन जी।
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम।
गुड मॉर्निंग।
कैसे हैं मैम आप?
ठीक है, आई एम फाइन।
मैम कोरोना के दौरान हम जो आरसी और एफआईपी किए थे तब आप थे, बहुत अच्छा लगा था आपके कोऑर्डिनेशन में ये कोर्स करने के लिए, बहुत अच्छा लगा था।
गुड
और
मॉर्निंग मैम।
मीटिंग डेट भी खत्म हो रहा है तो ऐसा लग रहा है कि जैसे स्कूल छूट रहा है।
अच्छा
भारी होता है, एग्जाम होता है तो एक अलग सा फीलिंग होता है। और ये मजा सब आप फायजा मैडम, लगता है कि एक फैमिली है। आप वहाँ के हेड हो, आप हमें संभाल कर रखे हो, ऐसा लगता है। 15 डेज बहुत अच्छे से करते हैं मैडम।
Thank you so much. We are also have love and sympathy for you and blessings from our side.
Not only ma'am you have sympathy, but I can say in a full way empathy ma'am.
अच्छा
बैच का एक बात है मैडम कि यहाँ पे ना सब लोग बहुत अच्छे हैं, कोई शाय नहीं है, सब बात करते हैं, एक दूसरे के लिए सोचते हैं, बहुत अच्छे हैं सब लोग।
नहीं आप लोग अच्छे हैं भाई, आप अच्छे हैं तो हम सब अच्छे हैं। आप भी अच्छे हैं और बहुत कोऑपरेट करा आप सबने मुझे। मैं इतना सोच रही थी 12 दिन का प्रोग्राम है, और लेकिन सबने बहुत कोऑपरेट किया और हम लोग इसको सफलतापूर्वक कर सके। आपकी फीलिंग्स को आयरन हम 4 बजे आपको कॉल करके आपसे कहेंगे, फीडबैक दीजिए।
ओके थैंक यू मैडम। ठीक है मैडम।
Thank you. Ji, Sridevi.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good
Good morning.
morning.
How are
good
you,
morning.
ma'am?
Fine, madam, fine. So, our resource person is with us. She is Professor Sridevi from Gandhigram Institute, Tamil Nadu. And she is a woman of talent, having lot of talent, organization, research, writing, and overall, she is very good person. I visited Gandhigram and she full time she was with me and she gave all kind of hospitality to me. So still today, I remember those days when I was with all the team of Sridevi Madam. And Sridevi Madam, I also welcome you in this session on behalf of Director UGC, MMTTC, on behalf of
Thank you, ma'am.
participants, and on my own behalf. I welcome you, Madam. And
Thank
it
you,
is
ma'am.
very wonderful to be here with you, as well as I appreciate that in spite of interview, you committed and you consented that yes, I will present in first session. So, Madam, this group is teachers of different subjects. They are being employed and providing their services to different colleges and universities. And overall, the performance of batch is highly satisfactory. They are very cooperative, very curious, inquisitive, as well as innovative. So, with these words, once again, I welcome you, madam, and I request you, please, you start your lecture. Now, floor is yours. Yes, madam.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And I place my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Nasreen, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. And of course, the director of UGC MMTTC. And I feel that it is my pleasure to share some of my views with the learned participants. And I hope this is a refresher course in teacher education, ma'am. Is it?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir. Fine. Thank you. And I'm happy to see nearly 150 participants in this program. So I feel elated to be a part of your program. So kindly give me a 1 minute. I'll just share my screen. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Fine.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. The topic which is given to me is outcome-based education, right? I think everyone will be familiar with this term because of this NEP 2020. We are now getting very much familiar with this term, outcome-based education, right? So I just want to have this session to be an interactive one rather than an one-way communication from my side. So as teachers, what is our expectation from our students? So whenever we enter into a class, what will be our expectation? Definitely we'll have some expectation and we'll have some planning, right? So can you say what will be our expectation when we enter into a classroom? Is it just to cover the syllabus or uncover the syllabus or complete the portion?
No, definitely we want some a very good response from the students. I want
Yes.
we expect the students to know something about the topic we are going to teach. At least
Yes, something must be
Yeah.
the takeaway from our session, right? Something
Yeah.
must they should understand out of our 1 hour or 45 minutes session. They should learn at least one concept new, right? This will be our ultimate motivation in whatever maybe the class we are handling. Okay, let me start with a quote which is very favorite to me. It is given by Mahatma Gandhi, that is, be the change you wish to see in this world. Right? So actually this quote insists upon we have to make the change from ourselves before expecting a change from others, right? So how we can be a change maker, because the teachers plays a very important role in the life of students and in even shaping their life, right? So what will be the change we are expecting from our students? So maybe a graduate or undergraduate or postgraduate student. So we will be expecting that the outcome of completing a particular course will be getting a placement, right? Everyone is finding for the course or identifying a course to join based on the placement opportunities, right? So with these words, I just want to have a synopsis of what we are going to see in this session. Just we'll see an introduction about the teaching learning process and what is OBE and the key purposes of OBE and what are all the OBE models and benefits and challenges in implementing the OBE, right? So basically, teaching and learning process, since everyone is from the teacher education field, I think this is nothing to be new to you all, because we deal with the teaching learning process inside the classroom, right? So actually out of the, since we are all from the teacher education, I just want to have a basic question. What we are expecting the basic quality of a teacher to be? Because we expect certain ethics with the teachers, right? Ethics and qualities and qualifications. Of course, qualifications is based on the academic achievement. What are all the qualities that we are expecting from a teacher? A student completing an undergraduate degree and coming and enrolling into a teacher education program, or completing a PG degree and enrolling into a teacher education program, definitely finds it different from their normal BSc or MSc courses or MA or BA courses, right? Because we are going to have the training program. Instead of teaching the content, the students will be having mastery over their own subjects. As a teacher educator, it is our duty to train them to be a teacher with the pedagogical aspects, right? So how the students are able to convey their message to the students, because teaching itself, we call it as a noble profession, because it is the mother of all other professions, right? All other professionals are prepared only by the teacher. So here it insists upon the important role of the teacher, what we are playing. So the same thing we are expecting our students also to bring, right? And this is what is we are expecting, that they should acquire some behavioral modification out of their course, because there are certain ethics and norms how a teacher should be, and that they should not deviate from that activities. Yes, and of course, teachers are called as lifelong learners, and it is not going to end by a single degree. So it will be a lifelong process, and they should be ready, and they should have that readiness to always update themselves based on the needs. See, for example, we have been having a regular and routine classroom practices, maybe till 2019, right? Immediately after this pandemic arises, what was the actual situation, the change what we have faced? That is what we are now enjoying, right? Sitting at the Tamil Nadu and you are sitting in somewhere India, we are having a classroom, or we are interacting with each other. So we have to thank Corona, right? Pandemic period. So this has given us more facility. And before that, we were not adopting this online programs, right? No. So this Corona has changed the entire scenario. So we are hesitant, I can say, at the beginning to shift into an online classes, and we are not familiar, and even many experienced teachers, they find it little bit difficult to handle the sessions in online mode. But nowadays it has become a practice and everyone is comfortable with this online mode, right? So we can sit comfortably at our home or at our workplace or wherever we want, and we can have our own freedom in sitting and listening to a class, and or even taking a class from through online mode, right? So all these flexibilities are getting changed, and we are also getting adopted to the new changes that is occurring in the teaching learning processes. Yes, the basic idea about this teaching learning processes, I just want to give a basic idea what we are talking about. So first of all, our learning should have a objective, right? What will be my objective after completing this particular session? So based on the objective only, I have to give the learning experiences. So what are all the learning experiences through which I can reach my objective of this session? So that I have to identify very clearly, and then finally I have to go for assessment. So where this assessment plays a major role. Why? Because how far my teaching or the instruction or the interaction has some meaning towards the learning process. So that has to be evaluated. So there comes the need of assessment. So these three are inevitable in whatever may be the teaching learning process is happening. Either it can be a subject, or it can be a methodology, or it can be some other thing, right? So there will be an objective, and based on the objective, we have to identify the exact learning experiences what we are offering, and based on which we have to analyze whether the learner has attained that objective or not through our assessment. And I hope I'm making some meaning. If you are not comfortable, you can just raise your hand and you can interact with me in between also, no problem. And even you feel free to type in the chat box. Yes. So now, actually, why we have shifted our education system into a new format called the outcome-based education. So far, whether we have not given importance for the outcome, is it so? Only now we are talking about the outcome. What about the earlier days? We were being concentrating on the outcome of the education, but it was not emphasized. That is the only thing. So actually, till now, many of the learning experiences are giving, they are seeking only the environment, we are making the learning environment with little attention, right? So the students, they are coming and they are learning, but they don't feel the importance of the education or the seriousness. See, the competitive, now the world has become much more competitive, right? Many are getting graduated, many are getting graduated from the professional degree, and many are seeking for job, and everyone is high achievers. So among this group, our students are actually now in a real competitive world. So in order to compete with all the students, our students must have something to be different or something to be innovative. So that is lacking nowadays. So that is what we call it as, there is a gap between the learning what they are doing in the degree and the performance. That we call it as a skill gap. You could have come across in the skill developmental activities of NEP. They are mentioning about the skill gap, where our students are highly, I mean, they're achievers, they are higher achievers, but they're lacking in the working ability, right? So they are always prepared for getting the ranks and grades and higher achieving, and they are not completely prepared for the workforce. When they come into the field of work, they are little bit lagging in the skill development. So for that only, we are giving the importance for focusing on this outcome-based education. So the lack of soft skills needed for jobs like communication skills, interpersonal skills, analytical skills, and working attitude, everything is little bit lacking with our younger generation. So now we want to insist upon all these things. As a teacher, we can only mold our students. So it is now our responsibility how we are going to insist upon this outcome. So how we can identify whether the objective has reached or whether there is some outcome out of our session, right? Session or out of our class. So, what is OBE? Actually, outcome-based education should give answer, or it should be answering for all these questions, right? What students will be able to do after completing the graduation. See, if a student is choosing a particular course, we should be able to give him the idea what is the major purpose of completing that particular course, and what are all the opportunities for job. Maybe it may be a government sector or private sector, or it can be an entrepreneurial opportunity. So we should give that insight to our students, what will be the outcome of the individual after completing the particular course. So that should be the major cause of a course. And the next one must be the outcome based, because we are expecting the outcome only from the learner. So of course, the teaching learning process should be learner centric. No more, it should be. Yes, sir, you want to have something? Interaction? Yes. So the teaching learning process should be learner centric, because the need based education should be given. Then only we can expect something meaningful outcome from the learner. So that is concentrating on learner centric rather than teacher centric model of instructional practices. And definitely we have to ensure there should be a continuous improvement in this educational process. We cannot say that if a student, because of this NEP nowadays, we are shifted into 4-year honors degree and all, right? So when a student is entering into the first year, and when he is getting the graduation after 4th year, there will be lot of updates in the field, right? So we have to keep on our curriculum to be updated, and we should make the curriculum to be reaching the student, so that immediately after completing the course, he should have some placement opportunity. That should be our major aim, right? And preparing graduates to fit themselves globally. See, actually, we were talking about the globalization, right? So nowadays, sitting at home, even now I can have a class with an international student. So this is what is the development of the technology, what it has been helping us, right? So now our children have to compete globally. It is not that I am preparing a teacher in my institution and he or she can get the job opportunity only nearby Gandhigram. And if I am going to prepare a teacher like that, then there is no meaning of my education, right? So I should prepare a teacher so that he can compete in the global world. Even in foreign countries or wherever he goes, he can survive as a good teacher. So such qualities I have to incorporate into the curriculum. So that is very important. And we should have some effective and innovative content delivery methods and procedures. See, we have, as teacher educators, we are very clear with an n number of methods, strategies, and procedures for content delivery, right? So for each and every topic, we will identify different types of teaching methodology, and it should be very effective. See, first of all, as we should identify what is the interest of the student, whether he is interested towards that particular topic or particular subject, right? So we have to create them to get motivated to the learning process. So that should be ensured before starting with the instructional procedure inside the classroom. And of course, without enrichment of the faculty involvement, definitely this teaching process, teaching and learning process will not be fruitful. The real interest, the real, motivation, it should come from the teacher. As we are the teachers getting trained even after getting the placement. Now we are getting this in-service training, right? This is for, even though if it is maybe for our promotion and other purpose, the real interest should be there, what we are learning, and there should be some takeaway. As madam was pointing out, this batch is very excellent. They are committed and you are doing very well in your courses. So this is what is expected from the group of learners, the so-called learners. After completing a course, that is for 2 weeks, you should take something new out of this one. So then only that program will be a successful one. So the teacher must be always enriched with the new knowledges and updates. Then only they can convert all these things into their students, right? Yes, I was talking about, because this outcome is actually we will find out from this assessment or evaluation, right? So which is right one? Either assessment or evaluation, which is the right term we can use, or which is the right methodology we can adopt? Yes, it is from the picture, it will be clear that assessment is to increase the quality, right? We are aiming to increase the quality of the learning. Whereas evaluation is just to judge the quality, whether it is reaching the, expected mark or whether it is up to the mark or not. Just evaluation will do a judgment, whereas assessment gives the way for increasing the opportunity or the quality of the learning. So definitely assessment is preferred rather than evaluation. So of course we are doing evaluation and we are giving feedback, and there is an option for improvement. There is only an option, whereas assessment needs improvement. So this is mandatory. So in that case, we can go with the assessment. So nowadays, how we are having the assessment practices. I hope everyone must have seen this image. Is it the right way to assess? Because the teacher is stating that it is a fair selection. So he want to be fair with all the participants, and so he is stating that they will take the same examination. Is this is the way?
They are not equally at par.
Yeah, they don't
No,
have
ma'am. No,
equal
ma'am.
That is
They are not
totally
ability.
equally at par.
unfair.
Yeah, they are
It is
deviant. They
not
have
fair.
their own individual differences,
They
right?
are not fighting at the label field, man.
Yes. So the same thing is with our learners also, right? We will have nearly 40 or 50 students, and we cannot expect all the 50 students to have the equal level of learning ability, right? So everyone is different and everyone is having an individual difference, and we have to identify who is having what type of ability. It is the duty of the teacher to identify and to have the different forms of assessment. So that is why we are also concentrating in different forms of assessment by giving different types of questions, even oral, theory, or practical, whatever it is. Even through observations, we can have some assessment. As teacher education teachers, we will be going for observations, and even after by writing their reflections, we ask them to write, reflect upon their activity. The students will be reflecting upon their own activity, and based on the reflection also we can go for assessing. So there are different assessment methods, right? Yes. So what is the key purpose of OBE? Actually, there is a purpose for this outcome-based education. The two major purposes, equipping and implementing. So what we have to equip is that we have to equip all the students with competencies and orientations needed for future studies. Actually, we are preparing the students for the future, right? So future preparedness must be equipped to all the students, and they should be trained with many of the practices, how to overcome the struggles or how to face the challenges or how to be resilient even after many defeats, which is now lagging with the students, right? I don't know what about the scenario in North, but here many of the students, they are not ready to accept their failure. They want everything to be success. They are not even ready for accepting something called no or negativity. So everything must be very easily approachable, and they are not ready even to come out of their comfort zone. So in such a case, because when we are students, the scenario was entirely different. This, even in schools, they used to punish us if we do something. Even that punishment was a learning for us those times. But now here the government is insisting upon we should not even frown our face towards the students, and they have the full liberty. And nowadays the scenario is entirely changed. Even in Tamil Nadu, I can say the teachers are their hands are locked now, because they can't even warn a student if he is doing something wrong, because the students know all the rules and regulation and they are taking it in the in the opposite sense, and they are not ready enough to change their mindset. In that situation, if they come for the higher education, how they will be getting the expected competency or the qualities or the training for their future life? This is a very big question mark here. And of course, there should be some counseling sessions also we have to arrange. That is why now we are highly insisting upon a specific topic: mental health and well-being, wellness, and all mindfulness practices. Yoga is being also insisted in this NAP, because all those activities will keep the mind calm and they will make them to realize what is the actual thing which is happening in this scenario. So equipping a student with all these competencies and orientations is very important thing. That is the first purpose of OBE. And the second key purpose is implementation. So equipping alone is not enough. We have to make the students to implement the learned concept, right? So in order to have their maximized learning. See, actually before this OBE also we were been talking about ABL and all participatory learning and all the activities, right? So where we are making the students to learn by doing something or giving some activity, we are making them to learn. So rather than reading a book or text, rather than that, when they're performing that activity, the learning will be more with the students. So this has to be implemented among the students in order to maximize their learning, in order to achieve the success. So these are all the two major key points of implementing this OBE: equipping and implementation. So, of course, we have certain learning objectives in our class, right? While writing a lesson plan, we used to write all these objectives. So, what is our objective, major objective will be? First thing is we'll be selecting and organizing the content for instruction. So if I am going to take a class for 1 hour, right? So I will have certain objectives, right? So what will be my content of delivery for that 1 hour? That I will be finalizing. And as a teacher, it is my duty to identify which will be the appropriate instructional strategy. See, if something can be taught through dramatization, I can implement that concept. Or something can be taught through demonstration, I can go for demonstration. Or something can be taught through a storytelling method, I can choose that one. So based on the topic, or something has to be taught through some brainstorming session, expecting the students to brainstorm and come out of the idea. So we have to choose the appropriate instructional strategies, and of course we should ensure whether our teaching is reaching the students inside the classroom. That has to be ensured through some assessment techniques, right? And actually, out of that 1 hour session, the student must be able to describe what was his learning, or what he has identified, or what he has gained as a new knowledge from that particular session. That should be my first objective. And the next one is whether we can, or the student can connect that new learning with the life-oriented activity. So everything must be related with the life-oriented activities. So how he can apply that learning in his life, that has to be highlighted again. And what context the learning will occur. So the so-called content has been can be applied in the life, but in what context, that has to be mentioned clearly to the students. So based on this objectives only, we can evaluate the learning outcomes. So these objectives are getting major focus because in this OBE, we are giving much emphasis on the objectives, because outcomes, I guess outcomes will depend only on the objective of the sessions. So we are all now familiar with this Bloom's taxonomy, because OBE is focusing mainly on this cognitive domain of this Bloom's taxonomy, where we talk about the K1, K2, K3, and K4 up to K6 levels of learning. So this was the Bloom's taxonomy, earlier one and a revised one. So the earlier one, the highest form of the cognition was evaluation, right? But later on in 2001, it was revised, and the educationists, they have identified, no, the major objective of learning should be creativity rather than evaluating. It should lead the individual to have some creativity, right? So what makes an individual to be more creative? how we can make an individual to be more creative? What is the basis for creativity? Any idea? Or any examples for creativity from your experiences? No?
You mean to say creative teaching, madam?
Yeah, creative
Method of
teaching or application oriented. Outcome of the learning can also be a creativity.
you mean to say that it should be video based like that, madam?
It is not only video based, something to be different. See, if you are asking your students in the classroom to submit an assignment or to perform an activity, how creative they are. And to be creative, what is the basic necessity? This is my question.
That means that the student should know the application of any things what they are learning.
Okay, they should know the application. And what is the basic thing for the creativity, which leads to creativity?
The learning should be stimulative.
Okay.
Ma'am, I think out of the box. That's important.
Yes, thinking
Because
out of the box. That is what is critical thinking and creative thinking is very, very important for an individual to be more and more creative, right? The
That is why
ultimate aim.
that is why in schools and colleges they used to conduct a scientific program or exhibition like that. Students.
Madam, Wall magazine, will that be a creative example of creativity?
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, it is a creativity. How they are projecting their activity, right? Learning outcome. In whatever method it can be, the creativity can be adopted.
From creativity, you can the teachers can find out the individual capacity.
Mm. And we can identify the individual ability of the students and we can nurture them with their activity to be getting improved, right? Because everyone will be having different types of creative ideas, right? I just want to show one of the creative idea of school students, what it has been come out very successful. So with a short video, I just want to share it here. I think audio is not a matter here. You just listen to the video. It is with the captions, right? I hope the video is visible.
Yes, madam.
Yes. Hope you can identify what they are doing, right?
Yeah, madam.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
यूरिनल का निर्माण हो रहा है.
It was actually the idea of these 5 students with the help of the teacher.
Wastage management. How to?
It is not wastage management. They have created a urinal, that is Western urinal for their school, because it is a panchayat school where they don't have even the basic facilities like bathroom, toilet facilities. So with the help of the teacher, they have created this toilets, which is very cost effective and very creative, right? So this is what is we are expecting from our students, not exactly something to be different from others. Our learning should make them to have some creative ideas, right? Let me show one more video. You kindly say that whether it is creative or not. I hope all the things are I have taken from the social media only. You must have come across this one also. Hope you have understood the assignment given to the student.
Yes.
Is it right or wrong? The answer given by the girl.
Right.
Right.
Wrong.
Can we call this as creativity or
No,
out of
no,
box
ma'am.
thinking? No,
ये
but
तो क्रिएटिविटी है क्योंकि ये उसको काम को सिंपल कर रहा है वो उसकी
yeah,
तरह से सोच रहा है
something to be creative, but we cannot say that this answer is wrong also, right? Being the small child, she wants to solve the problem. That's it. But this is not the ultimate aim of what we call it as creativity, but the earlier one. It is something new and which was useful for as an outcome of their learning. And this is what is the outcome we are expecting from our students, right? And yes, coming to the PPT. So our major aim is reaching the highest level of the cognition, right? So that is why we are insisting upon having K6 level, K5 and K6 levels of questions. Even in our taking the system of question papers for evaluation, it it relates with the course objectives and the K1, K2 level, that is knowledge level of the students. So that has to be kept in mind. And before going with the teaching and expecting the outcome, we should identify the level of the students first, right? So actually this K1 to K6 level takes the students from lots to hots. As we all know that what is lots and what is hots? Lower order thinking skills to higher order thinking skills. We want to make our students to have the development from the lower order thinking skills to higher order thinking skills. So this is what is the actual outcome of a learning, right? So based on the objectives, how an outcome should be. So definitely a learning outcome should be measurable, observable, and a specific statement. We cannot say that the outcome cannot be measured. It should be a measurable one, and otherwise it should be an observable one, or there should be a specific statement or change in the attitude, right? And the next one is focusing on assessing the knowledge and skills of the learner. So how far the knowledge has been acquired by the individual, that has to be assessed. And of course, assessing involves what a learner is able to do as a result of learning, how far he is performing. That has to be identified. So in total, the learning outcome is the combination of a noun plus an action verb plus context, where this noun stands for what is being assessed. See, if I am going to assess one of my student who has gone for a school internship training program, a B.Ed student, right? So what will be assessed? What is being assessed? I will be assessing his or her teaching competency, how far they are utilizing all the teaching competencies inside the classroom, right? And it plus the action verb. Action verb is nothing but what the learner will be doing. So here I will be assessing what are all the techniques adopted by the student teacher, whether she is using a method of different method of teaching, or whether she is using some TLM, that is teaching learning materials, in order to support her teaching, or whether she is giving some examples, or whether she is giving some demonstrations to the students. All these things will be the action verb, how they are taking the they are having the conversation with the students. And the context, what are all the conditions, because the environment plays very important. See, sitting in a rural area, I cannot expect that a hi-fi environment or a learning output from my student. Based on the availability of the resources only, I can fix my learning outcomes. So without that, I cannot expect. See, from the first video what I have shown, it was a Panchayat middle school, and they don't have any major facility for having this toilets facilities. And we cannot expect that government should give a special attention to them in establishing this hi-fi bathroom facilities. But they have identified their own way, and based on the available materials, they have been very creative and they have got the award and the cash prize for their innovative idea. So this is what is with the existing resources, how far we are performing better. So this should be the major focus of the learning outcome, right? So how this is objectives and outcomes are related to each other. Definitely they are related to each other, because as I told you earlier, the outcomes will automatically depend on what the objective we are focusing. See, first one, the learner will be able to gain the knowledge about learning objectives. So if he is gaining, as we will be very familiar with the action words for all the cognitive domain K1, K2, K3 levels. I'm just giving an idea here again. So if he is gaining the knowledge, that knowledge will be revealed as an outcome in the action verbs like identifying or defining or labeling or pointing out, whatever it can be. So that should be the outcome. If I am going to teach them something, they should be revealed through an outcome, right? And the second objective, if it is going to be understanding, because all these objectives will be based on the cognitive, the Bloom's taxonomical cognitive domain, activities. So first one will be gaining the knowledge, and the second will be understanding, then application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation, and creativity, right? So all these things should be identified using an action verb. If he understands the concept, the learner should be able to discuss about that particular concept, or he is able to explain the concept, or summarizing or justifying or commenting on that particular concept. Without proper understanding, all these actions will not come out, right? So there is a high connection between the objectives and the outcomes. So that has to be ensured before we start with the classes. Yes. So what are all the OBE outcomes which we are expecting? It is focusing on what students can do or the qualities they should develop after they taught. So we should be very clear with the objectives. Without objectives, we cannot. That is why we are insisting in OBE pattern to be clear with the program objectives, course outcomes, and PSO, program specific outcomes. Right? All these things should be very clearly defined. So based on that only we can confine with the outcome of that particular course or program. Right? And this should involve the restructuring of the curricula based on the objectives or based on the expected outcomes. The curriculum should be restructured. Assessment and reporting practices should be restructured, and also in order to reflect the achievement of higher order learning. Yes, sir. Somebody wants to have interaction? Okay, so restructuring plays a major role in order to modify our, curriculum, assessmental activities, and reflecting practices in order to have the higher order learning. And of course, there should be the structure and curriculum are designed to achieve those capabilities or qualities. The learning experiences or the so-called classroom interactions should lead the individual to attain those fixed objectives in order to attain the expected qualities, right? And it requires the students to demonstrate that they have learned, what they have learned, right? So definitely as an outcome at the final stage, the assessment will be ensuring the maximum, the utility or the maximum occurrence of these qualities by the students. So this is the major objectives or the outcomes what we are expecting from OBE. And this OBE, this can be given emphasis based on the performance-based approach. So outcome can be measured only through performance-based approach. I cannot have a, with the oral test, we cannot assure that outcome has been achieved. It will be giving only the achievement of the student, but not actually the performance. See, many of the students, they may be a gold medalist or higher achievers in the classrooms, but they will be failing in the real field where they are going for job. Whereas some of the mediocre students, they'll be very average and getting their marks and other things, but they'll be the high performers when they enter into the field of work, right? So this makes the difference. So how far the practical knowledge has been important to the students through this learning environment. And this emphasis is more on the product rather than the process, because as outcome is nothing but the product, it is given much emphasis than the process. But the process is as well very important, because that should lead to get the desired product out of the course, and that should be ensured. And OBE can be summed up as a results oriented thinking, and is the opposite of the input based education, because earlier thing, the normal educational process was just like giving input to the students, giving the knowledge, and just getting the I mean, by hatting all the informations and writing all those things in the answer scripts. But nowadays it is not so. We are checking the creativity and the applications of the students learning. So this is more on the application oriented learning ability. Yes, so there are different types of models in OBE. It may be at institute level, course level, program level, and assessment techniques, or faculty development, or continuous improvement. So the institute level, the outcome-based model is that it should be reflected on the vision and mission of the institution or the department. If it is going to be a department, it can be the vision and mission of department. So what is the vision of that particular institution, and how far they are going to perform, or I mean, do the activities in order to reach the vision and mission for within a period of time. And for that, the framework of curriculum, the number of credits and credit distribution has to be identified, because if it is an university, of course we are following the credit choice based credit systems, where the credit system is very given much importance, and even the students choices were given importance, because this gives them the freedom to select their own papers based on their choices. Nothing is imposed on them. Rather than we are giving options for them. The students were even after this NEP, they have been given the choice of having multidisciplinarity in their education, right? So they can choose the other department or other discipline papers also for their courses based on their interest. So it is merely giving total freedom for the learner in order to choose the stream of study, right? That is why we are talking about the multidisciplinarity in our system. And of course, at program level, the next one, the program level is that it is giving focus on program educational objectives. That is, after what will be the individual after completing the course, that is a minimal duration, 3 to 5 years of graduation, immediately after completing. Whereas this program specific outcomes, it talks about the graduate attributes. The graduate attributes is very, very important in this concept of OBE, because those are all the skills or the abilities or the qualities what one is expecting to possess after completing a particular course, right? So that graduate attributes have to be specified correctly, and achieving that graduate attributes must be focused during the course of the program, and that is very important. It has to be given much importance, that we will be discussing in the later part of this session also. And at course level is the immediate achievement, right? So how this course is designed, and after completing that particular course, what is expected from the student. It can be in the form of a theory exam or practical examination, or it can be a project, assignment, seminar, or whatever it may be. How far the student is grasping that individual course outcome, and how he is performing. So this is the third model. And the third one and the fourth one is the assessment. So how this program specific outcome and the program education objectives are linked to each other. Of course, there should be specific outcome, and the outcome must be based on the objective. So these are all the things we have to be very careful, because while going for mapping and for calculating attainment, we need the correlation between these objectives and the outcomes. So that is very important. While coining itself, we should be very careful what is all about that particular courses and what will be the outcome and how we can match the the offering papers will be there. No, the paper should coincide with the achievement of that outcome of that particular course. And faculty development and outcome-based education, insisting upon the enrichment of faculty always, because without the faculty development, nothing can happen, because the teachers are the key persons taking a major role in implementing this OBE. So they should have frequent update of their knowledge and competency at various stages. So because assessing their learning outcome is also becoming a part of the implementation of OBE. And the continuous improvement. And of course, after completing that, we cannot say that it is achieved and we can drop the evaluation point. It should be continuously monitored. And if there is some lacuna, or if there is some deviation from the updation, we have to keep on monitoring continuously, and we have to go for updating ourselves frequently. So these are all the 6 different models where we are implementing the OBE in our higher education system. And this is the major framework of OBE, where it is giving importance for curriculum, teaching learning materials and methods, and assessment techniques. So the OBE in higher education, it is focusing on what the abilities are to be incorporated or inculcated among the students. So that is what it is giving an answer to the question, what the student should be able to do. So this will be the answer given by the curriculum of the course. See, if I am preparing a teacher, the teacher should be, the student will be able to convey the content very clearly to the students. That will be one. And the second one is the teacher will be able to understand the psychology of the learner, because that is very important before teaching a class, right? So understanding the psychology based on the need of the student, the teacher have to choose the methodology of teaching. And the teacher should be able to identify what will be the right method or approach to teach that particular topic. So these are all the things what I am expecting. And the curriculum is interlinked with the teaching learning process. And of course, this link should give the answer for the question, how to make the student achieve the outcome. So the curriculum is fixed and the teaching learning process is fixed. So how this objective is going to reach by the student through the teaching learning process. So I have to modify the teaching learning approach in order to reach the objective. See, if I am asking a student to demonstrate something, so first of all, I should give them a demonstration. We will used to have this micro teaching practice in our teacher education program, right? Before sending them for teaching practice or the school internship. So what is the purpose of doing that? Before introducing that micro teaching, as teachers, we used to give the demo classes for them, because the students are new to that particular concept, right? So they should learn from the experienced teacher. So we will be giving demo, and as well as when they enter into the school internship, we will allot at least 1 month for them to have observation in the schools. Why this observation is insisted? Because the students can learn many things than reading a book. Even I can give a guide to them how to teach, what are all the things that they have to incorporate through a guide or a module. But rather than reading that, the demonstration and observation will give them a very clear output. So this is what is the method what I am going to give them for transaction of this objective. So That is the second point. And finally, it is the assessment. So how it is going to be assessed, whether how to measure what the student has achieved. I cannot ask the student to write a theory paper in order to assess their teaching competency. I can give a question. See, write how will you teach a basic addition to the student of second standard. I can give a question and I can ask them to write their answer. Will that be the right method of evaluating a student's teaching competency? Definitely no. I have to ask the student to teach the concept in my presence, and the student has to teach the concept to the real students. So we have to give them the real classroom environment, and I have to assess how far the teaching of the student is very effective. So this is what is expected from a teacher. How best or how clear we are choosing the assessment method in order to assess what we are expecting from them. And as we were talking about, yes ma'am.
मैम मैं बोलना चाह रही थी कि अगर मान लीजिए मैंने स्टूडेंट को अगर असेसमेंट नहीं दिया तो मुझे पता नहीं चलेगा ना वो कितना सीखा है.
Excuse me, can you be in English? I don't know Hindi. Yeah.
Okay. If I am giving my student an assessment, then he will perform and then I will evaluate him or her. If I can't give an assessment, how can I know how much have he learned from the classrooms or from me?
Yeah, that is what you have to give the assessment. I'm also telling that only. The teacher has to define the right assessment technique. I'm not getting you. You will be assessing your student, right?
Yes, I want to tell that if I am not giving the assessment, then he perform. He 60%, 65%, whatever. I am not one day perform to be 100%, 60, yes. 65, 55, whatever. If I am not giving him the assessment, how should I know how much he have learned from me?
Yeah, that is.
I think
that is why we are insisting the teacher should be equipped and they should be first of all made clear what they want to assess from the students. The teacher should be given the orientation first.
Madam?
Yes, sir.
Madam, in those days, students used to stay with the Guruji for more than 8 years, 10 years. Gurukula for 8 years, 10 years, 15 years, like that. So what you tell that OBE, OBC, all these things can be evaluated over the years. But nowadays, in the interaction between the students and the teachers used to be for a year. If you take for 4 years also, completing the syllabus, assessing the students with the normal traditional ways, itself is a very big burden. And
of course.
And over that, if you want to inculcate all these new methods, I don't think so it is feasible.
It is not feasible, sir, but we should know where to adopt what methodology. That's it. As you were talking about in the Gurukula system, the whole day he'll be with the teacher, and there was an ample time for the teacher to assess the student. But now it is not the case, but still, what I am expecting from a student. See, I am a teacher and I am making teachers, right? I am training my students to be a teacher. So I know what are all the basic things I'm expecting from my student. See, the student should have the basic content knowledge because as a teacher, she should be thorough with their content. So that I have to assess, and that student will be should know there are various number of teaching methods. Even if she is practicing or not, they should have that knowledge. There are number of teaching methodology. This is my second objective, right? And the third objective is my student should know where to apply what methodology, right? If I am a science teacher, I can go for doing some demonstration. If I am going to be a mathematics teacher, I cannot skip the blackboard and chalk because even though we are in the digital era, the blackboard and chalk piece gives more meaning for the learning, right? So that should be developed among the student. And if I am going to be an English teacher or a language teacher or some social science teacher, I should be able to give them some field visit or take them to some historical historical places, for explaining certain concepts. I am not expecting my student to incorporate all these methods at a time, but they should be aware that at least there are so many numbers of methodologies are available, and they can choose the methodology appropriately based on the need. This is what is I'm expecting. And after completing the 2-year program, what she will be, so she should be or he should be able to have at least an entrepreneurship skill. Even if they are not getting placement or campus interviews, many placements are not available, they should know how to have their own entrepreneurial startups. That is what is our aim, because everything is oriented with this job, right? Employability. This is what is our aim, sir, out of this outcome-based education. It should help them in life. That's it. Okay.
Okay, madam.
So I hope I am making you some meaning through this one. Yes, so some graduate attributes, because nowadays these are all called as graduate attributes, because this is what is lacking with our students. In the earlier period, as sir was mentioning about, these were inculcated to our life through our elders, because of the family system. Earlier we had the joint family system, and many of them, they were talking to us through moral education, and they were teaching us everything. But nowadays everyone is busy, even the parents, the teachers, and the siblings, they are very busy. Even at home, everyone is engaged with their own digital device, right? So this is making them to be isolated to each other. Even at home with the parents, they are not having an interaction with them. They always have the interaction only through their digital gadget. Is it true? Even now, the students, whatever assignment what we are giving, what your students are doing, my students are going directly to ChatGPT. They are going, just typing the question, getting the answer, and submitting it to me. What about your students? Whether they are also doing the same thing?
Yes, ma'am. It's happening
Yes.
everywhere.
Yes, they are not ready even to go for a library
Yes,
or
ma'am.
to
They are doing
refer
the same
something or
activity
read
also in our
something.
class.
Yeah, they're not at all. Even the chat GPT, whatever it is giving, they're not reading, just simply copying and pasting it. What rubbish it is giving, they're just copying and pasting it. Even they're not reading out the lines, whether it is the relevant answer for the question. Right? So this is what is lagging.
They even don't know the head and tail of the answer, but only cut and paste.
Yes. Of course, everywhere it is happening, sir. So this type of children has to be given the special attention. That is why we are insisting upon this graduate attributes, what we are expecting. Out of the academic programs, we are expecting all these things like disciplined knowledge, critical thinking, teamwork, and communication with the people. How to communicate with their peer team. This itself is lacking with our students, because they are not familiar, and they end up always in an argument. Even with the teachers, they don't know how to have a proper communication. And while working in the team, there is no team spirit, I can say, right? Everyone have their own individuality, and they are not ready to mingle with the other people. So these are all the things which are very important and given a special attention in training the students. And of course, readiness for a career and leadership qualities. No one is ready to take the leadership, right? No one is volunteering nowadays. They want to be in their safer zone. So this has to be given training, and definitely we have to make them to realize the intellectual and ethical competency. Because what is ethics? Nowadays we are losing that, because many things are happening, and even the media, through media, we are getting exposed to various unwanted things. So the ethical and intellectual competency is getting lost. So that has to be insisted, and we have to impart the importance of all these things with the students. And of course, self-awareness and emotional intelligence, where to behave, how to behave, and what to talk and what not to talk, and what to see and what not to see, everything has to be discussed, right? So this emotional intelligence and self-awareness are also part of the graduate attributes. And of course, the other graduate attributes are critical thinking, effective communication, and social interaction. See, they have to survive in the society, right? None of them can be isolated from the society. Their learning should be useful to the society. So that is why we are insisting on need-based curriculum. If I am preparing a teacher to be teaching in a rural setup, they should be exposed to that area, and they should be aware about the lifestyle of the people where they are going to work, right? This social interaction is getting lacking from the student side nowadays. So that is why we are insisting upon even our Gandhigram, we used to have the practice of placing the students in the village area for nearly 10 days. It is a mandatory program where every student is made compulsory to attend that village placement program. We call it as, because it is a rural university, we have a rural setup. So they should realize what is actually happening in our nearby area, right? So this will give them the opportunity to learn what is the lifestyle of the rural people and what is their livelihood and what they are doing for having their livelihood, and how our institution can collaborate with the village people and help them. So these are all the things, and of course many extension activities. Hope everyone will be doing. Now we have this Unnat Bharat Abhiyan and all other things. We are linked with the rural areas and other marginalized group and everyone. So that is that has to be made realized by the students through various activities. And of course, effective citizenship training is also very much essential for the students. These are all actually, in earlier days, they were all incorporated from our childhood onwards, but nowadays it has been kept as a separate, learning, objective for the students because of this technological development, right? And due to this isolation of the individual by this digital gadgets, all these things are now mandatory. This is the major.
सुनाई नहीं दे
Yes, ma'am.
आप म्यूट हो गई थी कुछ देर पहले, सुनाई नहीं दिया, एक बार और रिपीट करिए.
I can't understand you, ma'am.
No, she is asking to repeat the previous.
Repeat the previous slide, right?
Yes, madam.
Okay, fine. This is one.
What is it just before? No, she is asking you to say
right,
what is just.
No, she is saying.
I want to repeat the content. What?
Madam,
yes,
she is saying that in the last few lines she could not hear because you become mute. Okay.
Oh, I have muted. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
No, actually, I was just talking about the quality of the children, what our younger ones nowadays. Because earlier days, these basic attributes, what we are talking about, all these graduate attributes have been incorporated into our lives from our childhood onwards. But nowadays, because of this digital advancements and this isolation by the digital gadgets, it has become mandatory that the teachers has to teach, or the parents has to have special attention in teaching all these basic values for our students, because this is what is expected from a student. After completing a course, mere an academic degree will not work them to ensure their employability skills, because now we are giving much importance for skill development, employability, and entrepreneurship skills. So these attributes have to be incorporated into the students' mindset through various activities. And I was just talking about our Gandhigram experience, where we take our students to villages and we'll let them to live there for nearly 10 days, so that they will get explored with the nearby area, rural area, what is their livelihood, how they are having their lifestyle, and what are all the things that as a student we can contribute for improving their livelihood and other things. And I was just talking about other extension activities also, what we are doing with the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan and other things. And even we have a specific concept called Shanti Sena, which is a unique feature of our Gandhigram, where we will give the non-violence practices to the students, and we will have the disaster management training also to the students. Wherever the need arises, our students are deputed for doing their services. So these are all some of the good practices which will make the students to realize their responsibility as a student or as a citizen in the life, right? And of course, it should be ethical oriented and environment and sustainability. So how they can ensure their sustainability in their employable skills, or even for starting the entrepreneurship, the fundings, various agencies are giving the finances, microfinances and other things. Everything must be taught to the students, and what are all the avenues and the agencies which are helping them in getting the proper employment. All these things are made available for the students through this outcome-based education. And of course, we have many benefits out of implementing this outcome-based education. Yes, of course, it makes this program student-centric, and it helps us to revive and revise the curriculum in order to have the need-based curriculum and better tracking of the learning in the students. We can keep on tracking of the modifications of the behavior from the students, how they are getting changed, right? And assessing is made better, like what type of assessment is expected for an individual, that is made better. And engaging the students in a better way based on their ability, identifying their individuality, we can engage them in the way they want to have. And meeting the accreditation, of course, now it is going to be revised by NAC, because NAC was insisting upon the outcome based education, and now they are revising the entire methodology itself, right? And madam knows very well about the importance of outcome based education in assessment. And of course, every coin has its own two faces, right? There are certain drawbacks also in OBE. That is, it may be a conflict with the admission requirements and the practices of the universities and the institutions, where this there will be some lacuna between the courses and incorporating all these things. As one of our sir was talking about, it is very tedious now to satisfy everyone, right? So it takes quite a longer time also, within 1 year or 2 year or even with 4 years. It is quite difficult to reach all these objectives. So we can limit our objectives very limitedly so that it can be achieved. Very short objectives which can be achieved easily. And some outcomes focuses too much on the emotions, that is the feelings, where which cannot be measured exactly, but it can be observed, and the perception varies. We cannot say that assessment will be the same, and it depends on the person and the mindset of the person who is assessing. So that becomes one of the drawbacks, and it relies on the subjective evaluation rather than the objective test, as it is entirely based on the teacher's attitude, on the mindset, how they are assessing the students. It depends on the objective. So of course, it has its own drawbacks, and as teachers, we have to find out certain ways in coming out of this drawbacks. And yes, so with these, I don't want to go with this again, cognitive domain. So I just want to thank our Madam Nasreen Madam for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I just want to have one more video, only one video, with your permission, ma'am, just 2 to 3 minutes. Shall I?
Yes, madam.
Yes,
Sure.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. More disturbance.
Sridevi madam, are you here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Are you here? So shall we start the questioning or something you want to show?
Just 1 minute, ma'am.
Okay.
So I just want to show only this video to them. Thank you very much, ma'am, for giving me this opportunity. And I hope you have understood the video because always the changes will take time, right?
Yes,
So we need to have all the patience and perseverance, and definitely all the changes will occur. And as teachers, it is our major role to make some change in this life of the student. That is what is the impression as a teacher we can leave with the life of our students. And thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity, ma'am. And if you have any discussion points or questions, you are most welcome.
Madam,
thank you, ma'am.
This is the first time I think so we have seen videos. Maybe some interesting videos. Madam,
thank you, sir.
In continuation with my last question, now
Yes, sir.
UGC is planning to most of the courses from early assessment to semester-wise assessment.
Yes.
So in that case, what is the easiest way and the fastest method to assess the students like that?
Sir, somebody also is talking. Yes. Sir, you want to have the easiest way of assessment, right?
Yes, madam.
Sir, actually, it is not the easiest way. It should be the meaningful way of assessing. Actually, we should be clear with what we are assessing, and based on that, we can fix what technique should be implemented. And of course, based on the course and the intellectual ability, see, somebody will be very comfortable in written examination, and somebody will be very comfortable in oral presentation, and somebody will be very comfortable in demonstration. So we have to identify their ability, and based on that only we can fix the assessment techniques, sir. I think this will be the only option to make the assessment process to be easy. And of course, as we are practicing the continuous formative assessment, that will also help to have a clear picture about the achievement of the learners, because it can be done only by the teacher, the continuous formative assessment, how far they are achieving, because that gives a whole picture of their learning outcome. This is my view. Yeah. Yes. Anybody else? Any other discussion questions?
जी मैम, जैसे मैम आपने कहा कि हमें मल्टीपल टेक्निक्स का इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए असेसमेंट में.
A kind request to all of you, kindly pose your questions in English. Otherwise, Nasreen madam has to give me the English version of the question.
I will translate. You please speak in Hindi. I will translate. No problem.
Okay, ma'am. That's fine. That's fine.
I will translate. Yes.
जी थैंक यू मैम. मैम से आपने कहा कि हमें मल्टीपल टेक्निक्स इस्तेमाल करनी चाहिए जब असेसमेंट करते हैं. तो क्या जो हम टेक्निक्स इस्तेमाल करते हैं तो उन टेक्निक्स के बारे में बच्चों को बताना भी चाहिए कि हम कौन कौन सी टेक्निक इस्तेमाल करेंगे, है ना? क्योंकि जैसे कि मान लीजिए हम किसी भी गीत संगीत करते हैं, प्रतियोगिता कराते हैं, तो उसमें बच्चे का जो रिजल्ट घोषित करते हैं तो उसमें उसके गाने की जो विषय वस्तु सब्जेक्ट मैटर क्या था, उसका प्रदर्शन कैसा था, उसमें वाद्य यंत्र का प्रयोग कैसे हुआ. ऐसे ही क्लासरूम जो होती है, अगर बच्चे को पता नहीं है कि जो हम टूल या टेक्निक इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं वो किस तरीके से करना है, तो बच्चा कई बार जो हम आउटकम देखना चाहते हैं, कई बार वो उन टूल टेक्निक से निकल के नहीं आ पाते हैं. तो और एक चीज ये, दूसरी चीज क्या अध्यापक के पास इतना समय रहता है जितना उस पर कार्यभार है कि क्या वो जो हमारी क्लास की जो डिफरेंसेस है बच्चों के अलग अलग, क्या उस अकॉर्डिंग वो असेसमेंट कर सकता है?
He is asking, madam, that multiple techniques are there for assessment. Shall the teacher should inform to the students that how we are going to assess you? And is it possible that a kind of components that is required for assessment can be divided into several points and inform to the students that your performance was this, your clarity was this grade, and your etc. whatever the teacher wants to assess. So is it the correct way of assessing the students?
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, we are expecting the change from the learners, right? The assessment should make the students to change their methodology or the attitude or their learning outcome. So when we are expecting the change, definitely they should be informed about their performance and where they want to have the improvement, right? Where they want to concentrate on improving their ability or the learning. So definitely we can inform the students and we can expect the change also from them.
Yes, yes.
I hope sir must have
Yes,
got my
thank you.
point. Yes.
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 It is correct. And before using the tool, if we have informed to the students that we are going to assist you on the following traits, so no problem, can inform them also.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Dr.
Thank you,
Sridevi,
ma'am.
madam. Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
I am highly grateful that you delivered such an insightful lecture.
Thank you, ma'am, for
And
transmitting.
we could be able to hear from you.
Thank you,
Really,
ma'am.
digital devices are the boon that make a that reduces
Yes.
the
Thank you,
distance.
ma'am.
Share the PPT, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Sure,
please,
sure,
you
sir.
send the PPTs to me.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, I will share.
Madam, please send the PPTs to me. We will send to
Yeah,
students.
sure,
Yes.
ma'am. Sure. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
ma'am, for accepting
All the
our
best for your interview.
Thank
All
you,
the
madam.
best.
Thank you, ma'am, with all your blessings. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, dear participants, we will meet at 10:45 for the second resource person. Till then, goodbye. Please join the meeting at 10:45 a.m. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.